miss. Mikasa just misses to try to find the pop-up there onto Flied Chicken. Meanwhile, Dez working on this turtle. Is he going to be able to find it? A great push out there. And Mobazane going to be able to find the first turtle. Mikasa in trouble, finds the pop-up there, and gets himself out of harm's way. Has the Primal Wrath. Is that going to be enough? Mobazane gets caught. Legend finds the kill. Fly Chicken able to answer back onto Dez with a kill of his own. And oh my foe finds the glorious pathway, but Shark is right there to find the pop-up and the Violet Requiem.
Yeah, oh my foe falling yet again. Just being a little too aggressive. He needs to kind of be careful. He definitely doesn't want to help BTK scale in the early game. Zane getting a little overly aggressive himself, trying to chase that kill. Leads to a death. Now going to be 3-1 on the board. BTK also having a turtle in their favor to give them a little bit of that boost in the economy.
Yeah, I mean, right now, 3-1, a little bit of a boost. I mean, it's honestly, I don't want to say it's a little bit. It's 1K in the early game, which really does speak a lot for how well BTK is doing right now. Pulling you can see them right now. They're trying to pre-game the invasion from BTK. They're already pulling that purple buff into the bush to try to hide it so that they don't have vision on. And you can see already, Mobazane here already working on the jungle of his opponents. Oh my foe dives in there after two of them. In comes a yellow Shark with the spatial migration, finds the pop-up onto Oh my foe. Hoon does miss with the freeze. The rest of Night Horde looking for an escape. In it comes the Sandstorm from Fly Chicken, finds the kill onto Oh my foe, and a Legend looks like he was creating the space, did have that ultimate out, but it was not enough.
They threw out a hook and Gosu Night Horde grabbed it. BTK able to extend the lead now 5-1. 2 kills on the board for Chicken on this Khalid. Highest kills in the game, but 5 assists going over to Hoon. He's had an assist for every single kill so far. Now a 2,000 gold lead. You are seeing the turtle spawn in as well. Both sides ready to take the battle, but who will be able to claim this objective?
Yeah, right now, Legend takes about 50% damage right there, and the turtle has been pulled out and reset. Shark getting a good front row seat here, looking for an angle, possibly for another spatial migration. You can see the rest of Night Horde going around the side. They're going to go in. Immediately, Mikasa takes a bunch of damage there. Out comes the CC. Oh my foe is the first one to go down. Fly Chicken finds a kill onto Mikasa. Yellow is next at the hands of Mobazane. This might almost be 4 down. Oh my foe does find a kill onto Mobazane, and just like that, Night Horde, even with 2 down, gain control of this turtle.
And now BTK has to find a trade. Look at the top side. We're looking at Zia quickly trying to burst down these minions. He's not very mobile though. You're already seeing the 2-man rotation over there from Legend, from Oh My Foe, to defend on the top side. So overall, that's a 1 trade for the side of Gosu Night Horde. The goal difference is a little over 1,000 now, slowly closing that distance to try and equalize this economy. Oh my foe! He was very aggressive in the early phase, but he has 2 kills now under his belt. He actually has the highest kills for Gosu Night Horde.
Yeah, and I want to say a great job by Night Horde. They took 2 deaths, but still the team was focused on the target that they wanted, and that was Mobazane. Without Mobazane, BTK was not going to be able to contest this turtle. They immediately had to flee, and Night Horde picked them up an objective here, trying to even it out. It's still a 1K lead for BTK.
Yeah, I see the Impure Rage on Yellow BC as well. This is going to be that Zeuskin inside of the gold lane. We've seen it flex so many times this NACT fall season, but it's going to be pairing up against Zia on this carry, who definitely has a lot more range at his disposal, which is going to force him to play a little bit safer. You're going to see the golden staff picked up by Zia as well for some additional attack speed. Chicken on the 2v1 though, narrowly able to escape, but Dez and Mikasa
quickly. Dez, as soon as Dez came in there, he was ready, had the flicker out there, even used his Raging Sandstorm to back out. Now you can see all the damage. Zia doing work up at top. That's the one thing that's probably going to be a big problem for Night Horde as we move into the mid game, as we start getting into the late game, because nobody has been able to stop Zia. They haven't been a threat up there, and he's just continually getting his items.
Yeah, able to get those items, trying to scale. We know how heavy a carry can hit in the late game. right now already having the golden staff at his disposal for some additional attack speed. We are seeing another turtle spawn on the table. This is the third turtle of this game. The second one went to Night Horde. The first one over to BTK, who will be able to take the third.
Oh, from the back line, they're going to go ahead and engage onto Night Horde. You're going to see if mobilezane able to find the turtle as well. Now he's going to join the fight. Dez is in trouble behind Fly Chicken and mobilezane. They do find a kill there. Hoon picks that up. Shark uses the spatial migration to escape. The rest of Night Horde and mobilezane dives in, finds himself a kill onto Oh My Foe. Now sitting at 3, 2, and 4.
A major victory for BTK, not only able to take a turtle, but also able to take 3 members down from Gosu Night Horde and a tier 3 turret on the bot side and the top side. Right now, they're finding all the answers. Gosu Night Horde slowly digging themselves into a hole they may not be able to climb out of. They need to find a trade.
Yeah, a trade. They're at about a 4K gold loss, a deficit right here, and they're getting their towers pushed in right now. A great objective pick up there by BTK, and it's starting to show where the damage is starting to come in. Now they're able to push forward, and look at them looming here on the Night Horde. They're looking for an opportunity. Unfortunately, they don't find one, but the patience is something to kind of put out there.
But this is where I'm a little worried, right? The later this game goes, the easier it'll be for BTK to push through and close it out. I mean, you have Zia on a carry. You have, what, 3, 4 fighters, 4 frontline heroes that a carry should be able to burst down with ease.
Oh, Mikasa finds himself on the wrong end of a spatial migration, followed by the Violet Requiem. The rest of Night Horde comes in to his aid. In comes Fly Chicken, does miss the ult, earns himself a stun for his efforts, and the rest of Night Horde back up to their tower. Conceal play out there. Shark looking for an angle while mobilezane is clearing out the jungle.
Yeah, and then also the tier 2 on the bot side does fall as well, so the map bleeding blue right now for BTK. Tier 3 will fall in the mid lane alongside all of this massive advantage that BTK has been stacking. There goes the Corrosion Scythe, the Golden Staff picked up by Zia, working for that core trinity.
Ooh, a big pop up there, and they do find a stun on a Flied Chicken. Lord is out, and it looks like BTK very quickly going to turn their attention back down. I'm not sure if they're going to go for it, but they're clearing up the lanes as they move. Just a smooth, well-oiled machine here. All right, guys, as we go in here, Zia putting the damage on there. That's going to go ahead, set them up for this first Lord. Zia doing a great job now, trying to put the damage on there. Fly Chicken trying to protect him. Mikasa coming in from the side. The rest of Night Horde here in tow as the Lord gets pulled out and reset. mobilezane comes here, greets the Lord up here to the side, does reset it. They're looking for a fight with the rest of Night Horde. Chicken and Zia on the back end, trying to watch the flank here as both teams kind of vying for position here right now. Both teams trying to be patient, not make a mistake, not dive in for a fight that they are not ready for. And you can see both teams trying to do their best to kind of keep these minion waves at bay as well. From the bottom, Zia going to go ahead and clear out the bottom. mobilezane cleared out the mid before he starts on this. Oh My Foe keeping the watchful eye on the Lord. Oh, they do lock on to Mikasa, who dives in deep. That might be the first mistake from the back end. Fly Chicken gets tossed up by Legend. Is that going to be enough? The rest of Night Horde is backing off, and that's going to give a clean Lord to the side of BTK.
Able to extend this match even more in their favor now with this Lord on their side. They should be able to take the remaining tier 2 turrets. Gosu Night Horde forced to be very passive this game, and not having a traditional marksman is not really working in their favor. Not to mention Dez is having a very hard time in his jungle. Just look at the invasion plays from BTK, putting pressure all across the map.
Well, for me, it's like they don't really have that late game insurance, that late game burst that's going to come through, unless you're kind of leaning on Mikasa. But like right now, you have Zia starting to come online. All BTK needs to do is use that heavy front line that they have, get the CC down, allow Zia to do his work with the speedy light wheel, and there just really is not an answer on the side of Gosu Night Horde, as BTK just moving from one lane to the next like clockwork.
Yeah, and the clock is definitely ticking, and not in Gosu Night Horde's favor, as BTK is looking to push open the base.
Ooh, Glorious Pathway comes out, and that is still... Oh, they actually take down the Lord before the tower comes out. Chicken dives in under the tower, earns himself some CC of his own, and there is a nice Violet Requiem that comes out. Zia finds the kill onto Mikasa. Still not really able... Oh, Shark! He's gonna get lifted. Fly Chicken actually has to go in to defend Shark to get him to safety. So they do protect some of these... Oh, as I say that, I was gonna say they protect the high grounds, but that's gonna be the mid-high ground that goes down for Night Horde.
Yeah, gonna be able to open up that base. Gosu Night Horde left to pick up the pieces, going in for another inhibitor play on the bot side. Will take it with no problems, and now focusing back on the jungle, seeing the Winter Crown picked up by Legend, the Blade of Despair picked up by Yellow BC. Yellow BC, though, it's been hard, right? You're running on this Zeusin, and it's not really been effective this entire game. On the other hand, though, it's been helping Zia kind of thrive. He's able to fight from a distance, not really too worried about Gosu Night Horde being able to even dive in on him with the pressure that BTK has been providing.
Yeah, and I'm kind of wondering about this the Suyu pick, if it was something that was part of their composition, part of their plan, or if simply it was there to take it away from Mobizane, as we saw how great he was in the last game of the series last week on the new hero. Because they're just not able to find it. We do have a conceal play in here. Hoon guided by the rest. Oh, with a flicker comes in there, find themselves an airborne Mikasa. Hoon with the cleanup there, and is going to go ahead and put those auto attacks out. From the backside, Oh My Foe comes in, but is greeted by 5 members of BTK who put the boots to him. And now with these 2 minions, are BTK going to be able to close this up? A lot of CC diving onto Night Horde, 50% on the core. They do find a kill onto Dez. It's just Legend alone, and that is going to be game 1 to BTK.
A major victory to be able to start this series in their favor for their debut in the playoffs for the NACT Fall Season. 16-4-35. BTK able to reign supreme. They were able to just ease through a lot of these objectives with little to no problem. It looked in the beginning like Gosu Night Horde had some answers, but the later the game went, you could just definitely tell a little bit of a push from BTK's side, just overwhelming Night Horde's composition.
Well, and with a team like BTK, I want to say that early game is the big thing. You can't just hold the line against BTK, because that's all they're looking to do is to extend the game, especially with a composition like that. They're just looking to extend it to a point where they're going to be able to pop off with their power spikes, where they have the Trinity build for Zia, where Mobizane has gotten where he's able to get his items on the Julian as well. You need to be making progress forward on them, because once they hit that power spike, they are a snowball, they are a wrecking ball that is coming through, and there's going to be very little you can do to stop them.
Yeah, I mean, look at the tower damage, 0% all the way across the board for the side of Gosu Night Horde. But overall, pretty much flawless game from the BloodThirstyKings. Jumping into game number 2 for the side of Gosu Night Horde. I mean, I just really wasn't a fan of the Suyu inside of the gold lane. I feel like they should have went for something a little bit more traditional, especially up against this carry. We got to see a lot of damage dished out over there by Zia as well, and no focus to really dive and take him down. So I'm wondering overall, what was the game plan for pushing that or forcing that Suyu into the gold lane up against the carry? We just have yet to see it. And when you do these drafts that are at least what we're not typically used to seeing for this for in the regular season, even just NACT wise, we got to see, why do you pick this up? So maybe back to the drawing board is where Gosu Night Horde needs to go.
Well, and it's one of the key points when drafting outside of the box, is that you need to still respect what is inside the box and why it is there, why the meta is a certain way. And right here, you kind of saw that, especially once it started getting to the late game. There was really no recourse for the side of Night Horde to actually be able to answer back. They didn't really have that damage in the late game. Nobody was getting fed, and nobody was really answering Zia, who was basically solo pushing up at the top.
Yeah, and that's really a problem, especially with your ADC, especially with a carry who just thrives on the frontline heroes, to be able to shred them down. A tank burster, as you see in the synergy from BTK, able to push through the mid lane, able to take majority of the inhibitors, and then close out the game with an early finish. Definitely kind of raises the question on how will the Gosu Nighthorde respond to this, right? I would definitely say having a more of a unorthodox draft should not be something they're going for. They need to go for something that's a little bit more staple meta. It's kind of like what Liz said opening up the stream today. If it's not broken, don't fix it, right? So hopefully they find an answer, and I definitely think it's going to start within the gold lane.
Well, yeah, and that's why a lot of these decision makings are so important. Like, and she brought up a good point too. Like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But is what you have good enough? Is it not broken against a team like BTK, where you're going to need to maybe try something outside the box, where you're going to need to bring that little bit of extra against this team? And we're going to see what else they can kind of pull out here. We have been told that they're kind of going to be very fluid with who's playing where they're going to be going, so that bias. But like we saw with the last one, BTK just kept a steady hand, kept a really good draft that kind of leaned into that late game with some early game assurances too. You had the Gwen on the roam position, you had the Khalid in the XP, so you had that early game to kind of see you through into that late game, and it's something that's kind of textbook for a composition, and something that really kind of helped them out against the Nighthorde.
You know, it's also really kind of hard to read because, as production kind of told us, Gosu Nighthorde, I don't know if they're going to stick to that plan, but they said that they plan on switching their roles every single game. So maybe, hey, that's not the role that works. Maybe we're gonna see some adjustments for game number 2, which could possibly pull out a new synergized team when you put different players in different situations. Like, we got to see Dez this time. He's running in the jungle, but we've seen times where he's actually running inside of the gold lane.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something at least. It's something that you, like I said, you're up against a team like BTK, pull out all the stops. Why not try something different? And that's what they're trying to do here. So, and it makes it, I want to say, it's a little bit more exciting. We don't know where any of these picks are going to be going. So it's kind of interesting to try to theory craft once these picks do come up. And like we were talking about, a lot of the good drafts has kind of, they're good because of the fluidity of the picks. You don't know where they're going to go. So you have to plan for 2 different things, like those Edith early picks, or the potentially sometimes the Hylos or something like that. You don't know where some of them are going to go. On the side, Nighthorde's going to go ahead and start off with the Matilda ban, and yeah, BTK answers back with they have the Fanny and the Khalid taken out.
Yeah, the Gatot still available for Gosu Nighthorde to pick up first if that is a game plan for them. The Phobius is still on the board as well. Now going to be banned out from BTK. Not going to let that one go with ease. But do you pick up the Gatot here? A lot of teams kind of prioritize that. But no, they're going to go in for the chip instead. So they're going to add some mobility on the board for them to be able to kind of keep BTK on their toes.
Yeah, this is something interesting because of the map presence that chip provides. Do we answer that with map pressure of our own? We've seen that Hoon is very flexible, very fluid when it comes to the Lu Yi. We can bring that out there, but no, BTK can very immediately answer. I mean, I've seen it talked about that Zane has really been favoring the new hero, So you, and you're gonna have Gatakacha out there as well. That's a lot of good early game assurance for the side of BTK.
Yeah, we've seen him kind of dominate in the jungle with the Soyuz, so maybe the same story for game number 2 if Nighthorde takes it lightly. Now, the early game, we got to see Nighthorde kind of look like they were about to start shining, but quickly overturned by BTK. So hopefully with the second game, they can kind of equalize the momentum, at least match that BTK is pushing out. Speaking of tempo, though, Nighthorde is going to go ahead and pull out this Alpha, and it's going to be paired up with the Faramis, so they're going to have some sustainability to lean in on. But this is the second Alpha appearance for them 2 times in a row. We got to see Dez run it in game number 1 as the jungle, and I'm assuming with it picked up again, this should possibly be Dez running the jungle again with the Alpha.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting. I mean, we never know. They might mix it up on us, but it's going to give them a lot of sustain here. You're going to have a lot of that CC that comes out from Chip. You've got the Nether Realm from Faramis. The one thing, though, I'm kind of looking for is some burst damage, some burst potential from the side of Nighthorde, so that when Chip goes in with those portals, they're going to be able to actually find a kill. And And we need to make sure that the person we're trying to burst down is not Gatakacha, because I guarantee that is going to go south very quickly.
Speaking of South, we are going to be seeing a mage who's had a couple of appearances in the NACT regular season, but this is going to be a first for the playoffs, and that is going to be the Eve, the RWM, to drop down and take control of an entire area. May be a possible game plan for BTK, especially on these turtles and these lure plays. Not to mention, could get some pickoffs on the side lanes if you position it right. The only weakness when it comes to the Eve is you're kind of more stationary, especially when it comes to a composition who can alpha. One of those heroes who can definitely get that job done. The chip, very mobile as well, is going to be another thing that Hoon will have to watch out for. But it's definitely something Hoon's comfortable on playing. We've seen him do it time and time again in the NACT. Paired up with the Gatat as well. They have crowd control. They have additional CC when you're in the RWM because of the slow that it provides on top of that.
Yeah, it's looking it up as Eve has a 50% win rate right now in NACT. I think 2 of those actually came from Hoon, who's actually been very well when it comes to the synergy that BTK provides, I want to call it the wombo combos that come out from them too. So you're going to have the Eve, you're going to have the RWM, you're going to have the entire team kind of boxed in it. If they try to leave, they're going to get rooted down, which will be the optimum time for Gatakacha to come in with his ultimate as well. And you know, Moba's being kind of clean it. Probably going to be looking for a little bit more damage or setting potential for their last pickup here, as we're waiting on Night Horde for their last single pickup.
Well, we are going to be seeing the Ruby slotted most likely inside of the gold lane for Zia. It's this Irithel. We know Irithel is really great at kiting inside the gold lane and fighting from a distance with the high mobility, even stacked up with the sprint, possibly to work in Yellow's, or not Yellow's favor, but wait. Okay.
No, we don't know.
We don't know, but the marksman's favor. But the thing that works in the element for BTK is the crowd control, and they're going to stack that up with the Belleric on top of that. They have so much CC that if you're caught by any one of these players, it's a recipe for disaster. It's like stepping into quicksand and trying to run through it. It just doesn't work. But sustainability is what works on the side of Night Horde, right? You have Legend, who is going to be running on this Faramis, who can keep the team alive. Not to mention the Alpha is very sustainable as well to also stay alive. We don't really know. We can't trust what we're seeing right now because they like to switch things last minute. It might not even be Dez in the goal position. Last time he ran the Alpha game number 1, it was in the jungle. So we're going to wait. We're just going to take this with a grain of salt as we push forward for game number 2.
Yeah, and the big thing here, you talked about it, the CC. The big thing for me is going to be some of these rotations. How we're going to handle the chip being able to come in with those teleporters. Is BTK going to keep this composition nice and tight to where even if they get caught, they're still catching like 3 or 4 members that they're going to have to contend with. I don't really see BTK kind of rotating alone. That's something I hope that they've been working on this week, as opposed to like last week when Joyboss was really able to take advantage of some of the rotations from Zane here. But ladies and gentlemen, game 2 of BTK taking on Gosu Night Horde.
And the Soyu running in the jungle for BTK. Moba Zane looking to kind of repeat the past with his dominant performance on it. Can he do it again up against Gosu Night Horde? Now, in the gold lane, this is where we're going to kind of keep a close eye on, right? This is now going to be a Ruby up against an Irithel. Looks like Yellow this time around is going to run a traditional marksman. Is this what they kind of were lacking for game number 1? Could this be the difference for them to even out the series?
Yeah, and they're already doing a good job of starting to refuse the invade early. You saw Mobazane over there trying to take an enemy minion there. The rest of the team kind of clamored around to make sure that that didn't happen. Oh, my foe doing a good job keeping vision. Oh, he actually, as I say that, he actually might get caught. Goes on to Hoon there. No worse for whereas Hoon finds the safety of his tower.
We also got to keep a close eye on the Belleric. We don't see it too often. But with Shark running it, he's going to have that Wrath of the Dryad to be able to spread those vines and deal some AoE damage and taunts.
Ooh, my foe takes a heap of damage. mobilelegendsgame. Ooh, very close. Read that like a book for Dez coming in. Is able to back it off. And just like that, an evil queller right to the jaw of Dez for his efforts.
Yeah, and right now, off to a slow start from both sides. 2 minutes in, neither side has found a casualty.
Yeah, speaking of which, oh, here comes the Avatar of the Guardian. It does find a mark and a flicker out. Here comes the real-world manipulation, trying to make Legend pay. He's going to pull back Chicken. Out comes the Alpha Charge, but Chicken, look at, this is what I was talking about, that Gatakacha. Look at all the health he's able to sustain there. Shark finds a kill onto Dez. The rest of BTK pushing forward into Mikasa. Shark unfortunately finds himself on the wrong end of that mid tower, so they do not leave deathless. 1-2 in BTK's favor.
But that's a trade that I would take any day. I mean, they only lost their roamer in that engagement, and they can definitely afford that, especially on top of taking a turtle, which is going to give them a lead up against Gosu Night Horde for the 3-minute mark. Now up by 1,000 gold. Now, this is Zia running on the Ruby. Yet he lacks a lot of damage, but he's very sustainable and can definitely be a nuisance. And the crowd control and sustainability is what makes up for it. But on the other side of the table, Yellow BC, he's going to be hitting like a truck, and he's going to have some high attack speed. Also, to be able to kite up against BTK as they do try and chase him down, which means he could play for survivability and be the late game ADC that Gosu leans on.
Ooh, they're actually going to go in onto Fly Chicken. Mikasa there, mobilelegendsgame from the back, providing some of that support. A lot of aggro. Falls onto them. Oh, my foe gets taken down. Here comes the Nether Realm. Dez finds a kill onto Fly to Chicken, and Mikasa goes down. At the bottom lane, you see Yellow BC now starting to get pushed in by Zia there as well.
Another 2-for-1 trade, though, still going to work in BTK's favor, extending the lead 4-2 at the 4-minute mark. But right now, neither side has really been able to have the map focus to be able to burst down the turret. But Zia, we were talking about damage.
Oh, with the flicker, and mobilelegendsgame comes in to clean it up. No fair. He was expecting a fair fight one-on-one and gets taken out by mobilelegendsgame. Meanwhile, though, I want to say Gosu Night Horde very quick. Avatar of the Guardian. Legend gets caught. And is he going to get aggroed as well? Oh, my foe from the back end puts some damage onto mobilelegendsgame. Mikasa comes in, does miss the penalty zone as Fly Chicken and Shark zoning out the rest of Night Horde while Zane takes the turtle.
Neither side will find a casualty, but another objective going over to BTK. 2 turtles so far within this game as we are now trickling in to 5 minutes. Zia on the bot side, though, doing a great job of proxying these minions and putting on pressure to Yellow, denying him being able to rotate and protect that turret. Look at all the gold plating. It's already gone from the tier 3 turret.
Yeah, and right now, and doing a good job. He was actually originally getting pushed by Yellow back into his tower. And I want to say, Yellow, I can see the mindset that you want, because as you get into mid and late game, Yellow is going to be able to pick up perhaps that Demon Hunter sword that will be able to kind of chunk down some of these thicker boys on the side of BTK. But right now, he is suffering.
Yeah, 1,100 gold difference between Zia and Yellow so far. Zia did pick up the War Axe as well to be able to sustain himself in these fights.
Ooh, and they do put some damage on the Mikasa. He has to use that penalty zone defensively to get away back to the tower. And that, we do have 50 seconds, so he'll still have the penalty zone back up for the next turtle.
Look at BTK's camera, all of them sitting on the couch, except for Shark. He's in his own world.
Yeah, Shark is chilling right now. Oh, my foe right now. Meet and greet between him, Shark, and Zia. Yellow BC trying to do his best to provide some backup cover here. Real world manipulation comes down. Oh, my foe has to retreat to the tower. And speaking of that, Dez gets killed off screen. Mikasa trying with all his might to defend the tower. And oh, my foe gets picked off by Zia.
A good 2-3 split from BTK into the side lanes. Very effective and is allowing them to push in the turrets even further. The tier 3 does fall. Zia able to claim it on top of taking down Oh My Foe. The turtle does spawn in. This will be the last turtle for game number 2. Tier 3 falls in the mid lane.
one ability from Zane chunks down Mikasa to 50% health. Fly Chicken earns himself a stun. Ooh, Shark was pulled back into the tower, but is able to use that little sprint to get himself to safety.
Yeah, and right now, with the 7-2 lead, it's not the highest in terms of kills, but in terms of objectives, that's where BTK is skyrocketing, now up by 6,000 gold, ahead of Gosu Night Horde. Just pretty much a step ahead of them in every single situation. I'd love to kind of take a look at some of their items on the board just to kind of see how far ahead they are in terms of getting to the core items needed to try and close this one out. But Yellow BC, we still got to keep an eye on him. He is the traditional marksman. If they can kind of wait for that mid to late game, maybe he'll be able to deal the damage necessary and use the range and kiting to his advantage.
Well, I mean, even from the levels alone, Zane is 4 levels higher than the entire team of Gosu Night Horde. So that means that any single fight that he is involved in, you need to retreat. You're not going to be able to win that. You need to try to find these pickoffs. Mobazane goes in. Mikasa throws a little bit of damage out there. Comes in with the penalty zone onto 3 members. In comes the Nether Realm to keep them topped off from the side. Yellow BC trying to put on the damage. Oh my foe comes in from the side. Mobazane still swinging away. Finds himself a kill onto Yellow. Dez is out as well, trying to help out his team, but now he is cornered between 4 members of BTK, and down he goes. I'm Offended lands onto Legend, finds himself back and cornered behind his tower as he and Mikasa fend off this defense.
And that's just a level difference when it comes to micro, right? To be able to engage and disengage and then go right back in to be able to sustain in the fight even when it's not in your favor is where BTK is kind of outclassing Gosu Night Horde right there. They're able to take down Yellow BC on top of that, who's now 0-2-0. Does have the Hawes Claws to kind of work in his favor. The Lord spawned in, quickly bursted down by the Bloodthirsty Kings. Now we'll be able to use this in their advantage to possibly take down some of the tier 2 turrets. BTK still putting on that pressure though, taking all of the farm away from Gosu, not giving them any room to breathe.
And at the 9-minute mark, BTK have entered a 10k gold lead onto Gosu Night Horde. Still trying to mount the pressure up at the top lane. Lord coming through the bottom. The rest of Mikasa and the Legend, the 4 of Night Horde trying to fend this off. They're at the very least most likely going to be losing this mid tower to be left to only high grounds. And especially with as tanky as they are, Shark's not really scared. There's nobody here that can burst him down. Mobazane coming in from the side. Ooh, a little bit of a taunt there coming from Shark. And down to only the high grounds we are on the side of Night Horde.
Yeah, we did get to see the Great Dragon Spear picked up by Yellow BC, so we will have a little bit of that CD reduction in crit that could work in his favor, but the clock is definitely ticking, and BTK trying to close this out.
Yeah, they're now starting to mount some pressure on to this Lord, down to about 10%. He actually got very far into this core. I want to say it's past 50% there. Oh, we come in with the penalty zone. Avatar the Guardian is out, misses the mark. Fly Chicken does not find it. Hoon finds a kill onto Mikasa with that real world manipulation. Oh my foe goes down as well. And BTK enforcing their will. It's just Yellow left there, 50% left, and that is a full team wipe and another BTK victory.
And a fancy finish on top of it. The Bloodthirsty Kings holding their crown for this series. Now up 2-0. One more game to go, and they could match the pace of Cloud9.
Yeah, and a great game played by them here for that finish as well. And I want to say, I commented, I said that Fly Chicken missed his mark with the Avatar of the Guardian, but what he was doing was zoning out the rest of Gosu Night Horde to push them back while Hoon had them locked in with the real world manipulation and was bursting them down. So I want to say a well thought out and nice synergy coming there from BTK, and unfortunate right now for Night Horde, who have not been able to find their leg against BTK.
Yeah, it's just all the elements that they have at their disposal they're using up against Gosu Night Horde, and it's been transitioning well in the Bloodthirsty Kings' favor. Like you said, the RWM for the ground control, but then also Chicken as a distraction with the Avatar of the Guardian, forcing everybody out of that inhibitor turret and needing to spread out to not get set up. But if they stayed in, they'd get set up inside of a RWN, and that would be more kills to work in Hoon's favor. That's 2 wins so far, and this is going to go down as potentially the fastest game we've had today between Series 1 and now, sitting at that 10-minute 27 mark.
BTK trying to close this one early. They are ready to go home. But it's great to see the synergy coming together for them. And right from the get-go, very little, I want to say, there were little signs of Yellow in the early game was able to kind of push back Zia on the Ruby, but as soon as like reinforcements came there, they were very quickly able to overwhelm some of these lanes, even to the point that Terizla wasn't able to do much. Even came in a great penalty zone onto 3 members, but by that time, BTK was so far ahead that none of these fights were really mattering. I was talking about it before. Zane was sitting at 3-4 levels over the highest member of Gosu Night Horde. When we were looking at some of the gold leads there, he was about 4K up himself, 4K up on the highest member of Night Horde. And this is one of the things we've talked about for Zane for years, is his ability to farm. No matter what's going on in game, he's always able to get the farm, keep his farm up, and keep that going forward.
You know what's interesting too is a lot of teams have been banning out the Soyu, but Gosu Night Horde, it looked like they thought they had a plan for it, and maybe just kind of sticking to the staple meta in terms of drafting should be what they focus in on. I mean, you can clearly see it's not a hero that you want to let go with ease, especially if you don't have a proper plan to defend up against it. We didn't see a plan right there. I mean, Zane, he went through that entire game without a single death, able to kind of thrive, put on the pressure, and rack up those kills. Maybe jumping into the third game, and potentially a last game if they don't find some answers soon, they should ban it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like something that Zane is really starting to favor here. Here's that little zoning out there from fly to chicken while the real world manipulation was going on there as well. Just a great job here. And unfortunate for the side of Night Horde, there's not much that can be done here as Yellow was getting picked off as well.
Yeah, now Private, here we are yet again, kind of similar to the first series of the day, right? It's 2-0, potential for another sweep. Now, I always say it and I still stick by it. I want to see this go the distance. I want to see something that goes all the way to a game 5, but it's going to take a lot for Gosu Night Horde to make that happen.
Well, and that's kind of coming in. Even with the chip, they weren't able to kind of capitalize on it. And what do you give up to have the Soyu or I mean your side too? We saw them, they had it on their team in the first game, and they weren't able to really capitalize with it. So it's anybody's guess what you do against this team, and especially when it comes to kind of getting caught out there alone. That's what we saw coming from Shark. He's able to find some of these pickoffs. He's able to punish the enemy, roam when he's out on his own, when the team's not able to back him up. So it'll be interesting to see what the side of Gosu Night Horde can do here with possibly their last chance to kind of keep their hopes alive here in the top bracket.
Well, I will say, at least I guess they didn't stay true to what we were told earlier. I mean, it looked like they were running the same role for game number 2, so maybe they're going to run that for game number 3. I don't know if I'd recommend switching it for a potential match that could knock you down to the lower bracket. I feel like with as far as they've came, they have to definitely probably just stick to it and iron out those kinks. But it's rough, right? I mean, you're looking at the Bloodthirsty Kings. They've been pretty dominant on all the neutral objectives, even when it comes to the 1v1 matchups inside of the gold lane. Even when you do get that traditional marksman, which we thought could have been a potential answer, you still see the staple meta, such as a Ruby, over in the gold lane. So we got to go back, but we're running out of time. I feel like possibly definitely banning out the Soyu is step number 1. Get that off the table as soon as possible. We know BTK is a team that heavily focuses on getting Zane comfortable. They thrive when he's able to find that farm. They thrive when he's able to get these turtles in these neutral objectives. They need a composition that could be a little bit more aggressive and stop him from rotating around, because when he climbs on those objectives, he's pretty much putting everybody on the table when it comes to getting their items and those power spikes.
Well, and that's the problem too, is because if you start focusing on Zane, there's a lot you still have to contend with, because Shark is probably, well, I mean, undoubtedly one of the best roams in North America. So if you're trying to take out Zane, that's something that's going to have to be on your mind. Where is Shark? What is Shark doing? What can he do to punish me for trying to go after Zane? It's not impossible, though, because we saw last week Zane was getting caught a lot. Shark was making some of the rotations. Maybe the answer is to try to put some pressure on a lane across the map. Once you're putting pressure there, you mean you have Shark that needs to rotate up there, and maybe you have Zane, you catch him rotating alone. I mean, it's all great to theorize up here while we're watching, but in game, I'm sure it's a different story to try to create that type of pressure. You've got two very solid XP and gold laners in Zia and Fly Chicken that we've seen here.
Yeah, they're definitely showcasing that they're ready to move on to the semifinals, and we got to see that spark lit up from the side of Gosu Nighthorde, especially with this being game number 3 and the stakes getting even higher. Like we said, the higher you climb up that ladder for the NACT fall season, the colder it gets. Now, the gold lane matchup's definitely been something that's been interesting, right? I mean, Yellow, he's rotating around a lot of different. We've seen him on the marksman position as well. We've seen Dez on the marksman position, and the question is, who is the best marksman for Gosu Nighthorde? Wait, are we done with the draft? All right, we are done with the draft. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not wasting any time. I know y'all want to see the show, and we're here to bring it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I just had to do a double take so I can like try to absorb what I'm seeing to see where the pluses, the minuses are here. We're gonna have the early game coming in from the side of Nighthorde with the Nolan pickup, with the Matilda out there. You've got that early game assurance, and even with the CC out there as well, with some of that tower taking ability coming out fresh. And on the other side, I want to say a BTK, Fly Chicken on the show. I actually don't remember seeing Fly Chicken on a show yet. But Mobazane, I want to say, dare I say, probably one of the best alphas, definitely one of the best alphas in North America. But the argument can be made about how good he is internationally on that. So it's going to be a very rough one to overcome for Nighthorde.
And speaking of overcoming, the biggest challenge yet for Gosu Nighthorde is, ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into game number 3 of the playoffs. Who will move on to the semifinals? Who will be knocked down to the lower bracket between BTK and Gosu Nighthorde?
Yeah, we're about to find out. Hanging on by a thread right now is Gosu Nighthorde, not wanting to get relegated down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. Now, yeah, you said it, right? Zane running on this alpha, he's definitely kind of spearheaded the way for that inside of North America. It wasn't as effective in MSC, but it's been very effective for him in the North American region. Zia, though, he's running on this Beatrix. We've seen a couple of Beatrix so far. I want to say maybe just one this entire NACT, but they got the double sniper composition.
Ooh, a flicker forced out by Oh My Foe. Shark hiding in the pixel bush does find the taunt, but not able to burst down Matilda. That's going to be an alpha charge down, but he'll definitely have that ultimate back up for this next turtle take.
Yeah, I was talking about the double sniper composition. If Hoon and Zia can time it just right, they could potentially two-shot somebody if they get them in their crosshairs. Maybe that's the game plan for this. I always love to see a Navaria paired alongside a Beatrix.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting here, especially with how some of these matches go. We haven't seen too many. Ooh, actually, Shark's going to go ahead, get some damage onto Legend. And right there, from the back there, is Hoon to kind of provide some of that suppressive fire. The turtle seems to have been up for a bit now. Neither team really vying for a position just yet. Oh My Foe hiding in the pixel bush gives a little vision for Shark, who's going to hide up in the L bush. They do pull out the turtle. Zane really right up in the front. They're going to go ahead, lock on the Mobazane, force out the alpha charge, and the guiding wins from Oh My Foe. Find him from the back. Fly Chicken finds a way of the dragon. No kill just yet for either team. Turtle does get pulled out. Looks like they're looking for another reset. They really want to force out some of these fights. Shark being chased down. Mikasa putting on some damage. Mobazane finds the Lord underneath a huge astral echo that comes out as well. And just like that, they actually able to get away scot-free. No kills on either side.
But it's these little things that are keeping BTK ahead of Gosu Nighthorde, right? Even though they didn't get a kill, they're still able to find that turtle, and they're that team. We say it time and time again. You give them an inch, they take a mile. I mean, they're only up by 200 gold. Not a massive difference when it comes to average teams. When it comes to a team like BTK, they know how to make the most out of the situation. Yellow BC, though, did just pick up the Haas Claws, so he does have some sustainability, especially going up against Zia with this Beatrix.
Yeah, no, there goes Shark. He was looking for the taunt on the Oh My Foe. Runs into the wall. Ooh, a circling eagle onto Shark. I mean, I almost feel like that's a little bit of a waste. Mikasa goes in, trying to put the damage on with the yo-yos, and it is not enough. The rest of Nighthorde going to have to back up.
Yeah, right now, both sides still treading the waters, trying to figure out who's going to be able to swim a little bit further for the early game. No turrets have been dealt any chip damage, or barely any chip damage, which means it's still a pretty even game. We haven't really seen too much of a contest, though, for Zane. He is running this alpha. We know it's very sustainable on kind of surviving on the invasion plays in the jungle.
Oh My Foe latched on with the circling eagle on Nahoon, who very quickly finds his way under the tower to force Oh My Foe to give up that ult. Ooh, actually, Oh My Foe on the wrong side of the BTK jungle is not as lucky, and that is a first blood for BTK.
Yeah, a little overly aggressive. Even with the heroes such as the Mathilda, you gotta know just how far you can overextend. And the earlier you fall, the later your heals are going to come into effect to keep Gosu Nighthorde alive. So definitely something Oh My Foe is going to have to keep a mental note of. Mikasa does pick up this War Axe to be able to sustain himself in these fights and to be able to deal some additional damage. You're going to see the turtle now spawned in, Shark in position for a possible contest. Nighthorde now possibly circling around for the objective.
Yeah, a Shark over there just trying to bait out the turtle, try to get the rest of Nighthorde to kind of show their cards here. Astral Echo is out. From the backside, Hoon going to have to flicker out of a fracture. And Mikasa in trouble, gets caught and kicked. He's able to get away. But Mobazane very quickly working on this turtle, finds himself a retribution. Alpha charge in there, finds a kill onto Oh My Foe.
Yeah, another turtle for the Bloodthirsty Kings as well. Now leading 2 kills to none. Oh My Foe. Both of those deaths were him. Still not able to kind of play passive and provide the heals that Gosu Nighthorde can lean in on, but kind of feeding the economy for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
Yeah, oh, a flicker out from Chicken there. He finds the way of the dragon, flickers out, and then comes back in so they can juggle the tower aggro with Zane. What a great play there by BTK, and they find the kill up at top and the tower.
Which is going to be a major threat for Gosu Nighthorde, as now it's going to open up the free reign for Chicken to be able to rotate and traverse across the map. Maybe be able to flex down to the bottom side to help Zia possibly take down that tier 3 turret up against Yellow, who's been doing a good job contesting it. But you are seeing a 3-1 lead inside of BTK's favor now at the 6-minute mark, kind of similar to game number 2.
And Shark kind of hiding out in the bush. Here comes an avatar of the Guardian. And still, Shark able to very quickly get away from that back end fight. And now he's going to go ahead and join Zia at the bottom. I don't even know if Nighthorde realized it. They went to go join at mid, then realized, oh God, we just let bottom open. And they're going to have to go ahead and defend and take away some of those minions.
Yeah, at least they have Oh My Foe down there to keep Yellow alive, so they will be able to hold on to that tier 3 turret. But you did see a little bit of a focus from Gosu Nighthorde in the mid lane. They're trying to kind of find a way to take down that turret.
Circling Eagle onto Mobazane. He goes through with it and gets bursted down by Zia. He just disappeared into dust there. The rest of Nighthorde trying to focus on this purple buff. They don't want to get it stolen. He gets his purple buff stolen. I believe Shark got that.
That is very rough in terms of the economy. Another turret will fall as well. This time on the bot side, tier 3 pushed in by Zia.
Yeah, and they try to put some damage on the Shark. He just goes ahead, recalls in their face, and then uses the avatar of the Guardian to get away. Alpha Charge comes in. Dez takes a heap of damage. That Guiding Winds just narrowly saves him from a deadly fate there. Legend goes in with an IMU. Avatar of the Guardian misses all of BTK. Now Chicken and Mobazane focusing on this turtle. Rest of the team starting to come in, and that's going to be another turtle for Mobazane.
If Deadly was not enough, now throw some Despair in the mix as Zia picks up the BOD to be able to dish out some heavy physical damage.
Oh, Shark finds 2 members of Night Horde hiding in a bush. Fly Chicken trying to create some distance, taken down very low by Mikasa. Is he going to be able to find an escape? Gets taken down. Oh my foe with the kill there, able to find something at least, but mobazane answers back with the kill onto Oh my foe. Mikasa gets burst. Oh, he actually bursts down Shark before Zia puts the finishing touches on him. A 6-3 lead for BTK.
Yeah, but I'm worried about Zia, right? He's now 3-0-1, highest kills in the game so far, tied up with mobazane, but just picked up that BOD to hit like a truck. Gosu Night Horde needing to be careful on these next engagements. Needs to know if they need to play passive. I don't know if they can take the fight. They're already 4,000 gold behind the Bloodthirsty Kings. Berserker's Fury has been picked up, though, by Yellow BC for that crit. But it's going to be hard, especially paired up against Zia, because you're already seeing the damage on the way.
Yeah, he just chunked him to down 80% of damage. Oh, look at the damage coming in from mobazane. Shark finds a kill onto Oh My Foe from the back end. Chicken finds a way of the dragon. Down goes Mikasa. Legend running for the safety of his tower. Shark is not shy, diving after the tower. In comes Fly Chicken, and Legend gets away. Meanwhile, creating that distance for mobazane to take this mid tower.
The Bloodthirsty Kings has yet to find a turret on their side fall. They've been able to climb up this map piece by piece. Some surgical gameplay poetry in motion up against Gosu Night Horde so far. Now left to kind of defend in their base. They have a tier 2 turret on the bot side, but they can't even push out to defend that with the pressure of BTK.
Ooh, a nice little Jikundo comes in. Fly Chicken does find the pop-up. Oh, Circling Eagle goes on the Fly Chicken, finds 3 members, and gets bursted down for his efforts.
Yeah, bursted down and need to be careful. I mean, it's like target practice right now for BTK when it comes to Oh My Foe. As soon as they spot him out, they're able to burst him down. 6 out of the 9 kills that they've gained have been from Oh My Foe. And without him in the mix, you don't have the guiding wind, you don't have the Circling Eagles, you don't have the sustainability to keep your team in the fight.
Yeah, and right now this is all BTK starting to clear out some of these lanes, going ahead and proxying the bottom lane so they can start on this next Lord. In comes Zane. Oh, they actually restarted it on accident, I believe. The rest of Night Horde, are they going to contest it? They have Nolan way up at the top, so I really doubt it, and that's going to be an easy one for BTK.
Yeah, another objective on their side. 3 turtles, 1 Lord, and 5 turrets. In climbing, now possibly going to take the tier 2 on the bot side, but Night Horde now extending into the jungle.
Ooh, they try to latch on. Is that going to be enough onto Zia? Oh My Foe in trouble. Does dodge an alpha charge, but gets caught by a way of the dragon. Zia finds himself some final shots there. Shark finds a kill of his own, diving into the back line onto Mikasa and a Legend. Ooh, Astral Orb from Hoon finds a Legend as minions are starting to push their way with Lord at the top.
3,000 gold lead for Zia, well ahead of Yellow right now on this Irithel. Has a Hunter Strike, has a Sky Piercer, the BOD, Malefic Roar on top of that, and only really worried about the Berserker. Oh my goodness, Legend evaporated.
Yeah, and right now that's just the lead that BTK have right now and the power of that sniper. And we do have minions starting to push in all the lane. Well, actually, the mid lane's going to be the big one. They're going to go ahead and escort the Lord from the top. 4 members out here trying to defend. This might be the final push for BTK. All 5 members grouped up, looking for an angle. Astral Echo comes out there, followed by the Avatar of the Guardian. Alpha Charge cleans up 3 of them, and now another kill onto Mikasa, and that is game 3. BTK will be moving on to face Cloud9.
A seat in the semifinals has now been secured, and knocking Gosu Night Horde to the lower bracket. A clean 3-0 sweep for the Bloodthirsty Kings.
Yeah, and a very dominating last 2 games for BTK. First one, they took their time. They waited to get their power spike, seeing if there was anything crazy coming out of Night Horde. Once they got settled, once they kind of gauged the Night Horde of these last 2 games, it was basically pedal to the metal right from the beginning.
Yeah, and their foot was on the gas, and they just kept speeding up, not planning on stopping anytime soon. Look forward to seeing their match in the semifinals and seeing exactly how they're going to pair up against Cloud9. But right now, BTK, they're all together. They're boot camping it out, and you can tell it's making a difference.
Yeah, and that's very interesting right now. I mean, the Matilda pickup, there were a few opportunities that the Matilda went in, and I kind of questioning sometimes. Like, I'm sitting here wondering, does he know he can cancel? Because you don't have to go with that. He went on to some members there. I think there was one on the Shark, one on the Mobazane, that you really weren't going to be able to find a good opportunity. And almost, I mean, if your team would have followed, you probably would have cost them a few more deaths here right now. You can see here, tower damage, so little picked up by Gosu Night Horde. That just tells you about the pushing power from BTK here in all of the lanes.
Yeah, the BloodThirstyKings is not really a team that you can change your roster up on, right? You can't really just change your synergy at the drop of a dime and expect it to make the difference. BTK is a team that's known to kind of stick through the same team, at least for the regular season in the playoffs. Whereas Gosu Night Horde, I mean, we even got it from production. Even during this series, they were planning on switching their roster every single game, but then they started to realize how heavy BTK could hit, and they kind of changed their mind on that. So hopefully, as we do see them drop down to the lower bracket, we see them kind of iron out these kinks and go up against Godspeed for a good series.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see an interesting play here. Like, and that's what I was talking about there, is that Chicken went in, found the Way of the Dragon, flickered out so Mobazane could get aggro from the tower, then came back in with the Way of the Dragon. It was a really interesting play, and very interesting to see Chicken on the Cho, which I don't believe I've ever seen him on the Cho. So maybe adding a little bit more flexibility to their repertoire and to what they can put in that hero pool.
It definitely was impressive and a sight to see. Hope to see it again. Shark was on fire as well with this Katat, just able to get those Avatar of the Guardians when necessary. And it's just been huge and very impactful. The whole team ready to kind of fight it out inside of the semifinals. Now, is this BTK, especially all being together in boot camps, will they be able to make a different story from what we've seen when they went up against Cloud9? That's definitely something we're going to be keeping a close eye on, but also not to kind of lead things away from their opposers, Gosu Night Horde. We got to see how they go up against Godspeed. All these teams, you know, they made it to top 4. Definitely something to be proud about. Nobody's officially been knocked out yet, but BTK and Cloud9 have gained some insurance on remaining in the upper bracket.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Gosu Night Horde and Godspeed, I want to say tomorrow will be a last chance, as one of them will be going home.
Yeah, we got to see how our amazing host Liz feels about all this engagement.
I love how you always toss it back to me and not let the camera just flow. As expected, I mean, we all voted for BTK. They are in a boot camp. I mean, 4 of them are at least on that couch together, squeezing in. I wonder if there's not enough room on the couch for all 5. So we don't see Shark there. But congratulations to BTK with that series, looking dominant, looking like they got it all together.
Yeah, dominant is definitely the word I would use as well. Full domination. You didn't see a time at all during that entire series where they looked uncomfortable.
Yeah. I like how you're insinuating that the only reason Shark isn't there is because that couch wasn't big enough for 5 people in there. But yes, a very dominating victory for BTK here, and trying their best. Like I said, they went to a boot camp. They all got together so that they can put the best foot forward here for these matchups in the playoffs.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see them perform next week, because that's when the real magic happens. For Gosu Night Horde and for Godspeed, they are dropped down to lower bracket, and like you guys mentioned, it is best out of 3s, so they gotta be careful. Any loss can just break it for one of these teams, and I'm glad that today we don't get to see any of our favorite teams get eliminated.
Yeah, we're still recovering from seeing 4 teams not make it into the playoffs, right? You got to give us a little bit more time before we start knocking them off. But yeah, tomorrow's going to be a totally different ball game. It's going to be the lower bracket fighting it out. And like I said, we're getting higher on that ladder, and we're going to be able to see soon who will be able to hold that banner for North America and represent us in M6.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, but I think you have somebody ready to talk to you, Liz.
Yeah, we have an interview with Zia from BTK. Hello. Hello, okay. Hello, Zia. I like the camera angle, always catching us by surprise. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't. I wish I can hear you better. It's a little bit quiet on the quiet end. So we're doing the FaceTime again.
Hello. How about now?
Hello.
Is it okay now?
Hello. Yeah. I wish I can just go like here, huh? Hi, Zia.
Hello.
First off, congratulations on that victory. My question, I think a lot of us are wondering, like, why is Shark not chilling on the couch with you guys? Didn't you move all the way to Oklahoma just for Shark?
Oh, he's not here yet. He's gonna come like 2 days after, maybe tomorrow.
Does he live in the same city as where you guys are at right now?
Yeah, but he's a little bit far, like maybe like 2-3 hours away.
I see. And just a little bit about the game. We saw Belleric this week, and then we saw Chang'e last week. So who is the mastermind behind these fantastic drafts that you guys have been making?
Well, the Chang'e is Poon. The Belleric is Shark.
Okay, so you guys, it's like independent decision making.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we love that you are the most stable one right now for BTK, it seems. How are you guys adjusting to the boot camp so far? You moved in yesterday or so?
Yeah, we did move yesterday. I mean, we're doing pretty good. Better ping.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Yeah, does anyone cook? Or are you guys ordering DoorDash every day?
Good question. No one's cooking. We just ordered.
You just order? Does any of you guys know how to cook?
I actually don't know. Because I don't cook.
Well,
That's for sure.
I hope you guys figure it out throughout this week. We saw on Hoon's Instagram story, actually, Mobazane got the largest room in the boot camp. How did you guys make the room assignments?
Greedy bastard. Because he has more subs. That's what he said.
Okay, so which room did you get?
I got this. Not smallest. I got like the decent one.
You got a decent one? Okay. So I guess you are going by subs. Are you guys sharing rooms, any of you, or is it 5 rooms
no.
for each of you?
It's yeah, we do have 5 rooms here.
Oh, that's pretty good. You guys living a good life out here. Now that you guys have won this series, you will face Cloud9 again next week in the upper bracket semifinals. How do you plan to perfect your craft and win the series?
What do you think?
Tomorrow, yeah.
We're just gonna try our best. Draft accordingly. Do better every rotation and all that, and better decision makings.
Yeah, and we hope to see that. Now that you guys are settling into the boot camp, have you set up a practice schedule for the boot camp life, or like when you guys gonna wake up, how many games you're gonna play? Like, what is that gonna go for you guys?
We did probably like we start like 6 something, then we just play RG until
6 p.m.
until we get tired. Yeah, until we get tired, or maybe we can just do like depends if everyone's awake, then we just play.
So when are you guys planning to wake up every day? Because we know you guys have some crazy schedules.
I don't know if they fix their sleeping schedule, that's for sure.
Well, we hope to see that. Great performance, both of you. Hope one of you guys are gonna cook, and we hope you guys settle in the boot camp, and see you all tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye, Liz.
Bye. Well, I love every week with these full angles we got.
Yeah, it's definitely a sight to see, man. We need to get them a chef. You know, they need somebody to make them some food. Because DoorDash, man, that adds up over time. You know, that's going to be all their prize pool if they're not careful.
A very great interview, and looks like they're looking forward to things to try to get things settled up before that match that's going to be happening tomorrow against Cloud9.
Yeah, a little bracket update for all of you. We do have Cloud9 versus BTK next week with the semifinals, as they both took sweeps in the series and knocked Godspeed and Gosu Horde down to lower bracket. Tomorrow we'll also see Godspeed versus Gosu Horde in the losers round 1, and we'll decide who will make it to the grand finals next week.
Yeah, we can't wait to see which way this goes. The stakes are getting even higher. Cloud9 up against BTK yet again. We know everybody's going to be looking forward to seeing that. That will be match 1 for tomorrow, starting off with a banger. Following that will be the lower bracket, Godspeed up against Gosu Horde. We'll be able to see who pushes forward. One team will be knocked out from that game. And then match 3, another team will be knocked out, as it'll be the loser of match 3 versus the match 1 winner from the upper bracket.
Yeah, very exciting matchups for tomorrow that will lead us into the grand finals. Everybody, I want to say, waiting with bated breath for that rematch between Cloud9 and BTK. And then we're going to see in the losers round, or in the losers bracket, if any of those teams have what it takes to kind of put their best foot forward and maybe get a surprise win.
I mean, anything can happen, and we know Godspeed has been coming in pretty strong. They have another week to perfect their craft. I mean, they have another day, actually, to kind of get things together and see tomorrow if they can pull out any surprises. I mean, anything can happen in the lower bracket with 3 games, especially judging by last week. So we're looking forward to see that. Any last words from our casters?
I would just say it's been a pleasure casting alongside you guys yet again. Everybody out there supporting North America, thank you so much. Like I said, the team that wins this will represent us and move on forward to M6 and hold that banner high. So I can't wait to see who that's going to be. We only got a couple more days left. I feel like I blinked and we're literally almost here to the semifinals and the grand finals.
Yeah, Mobile Legends just keeps on growing, and even newer teams kind of leading up. This is not the Final Four I thought I would see from some of the teams. So it's been kind of shaken up a bit here in North America, and I am so excited to see what tomorrow brings.
Private is still salty that his favorite team, MLC Maple didn't make it, unfortunately, but they try better next time. The NACT will continue, and we will all be looking forward to see who will be our grand finalists. You'll find out tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
brilliance and pretty much negate the damage that comes out from the crossbow Tang if he times it right. You mentioned Joy Boss on this Grok. We know he's been super aggressive. We've seen him on the Cho. We've seen him on the Kufra. And this time, can he get it done with the Grok?
Yeah, we're going to see here, ladies and gentlemen, Godspeed fighting for their survival in the upper bracket of the playoffs. Cloud9 looking to continue the reign here with a full sweep of their opponents.
Hey, the higher you climb up that ladder for the NACT Fall season, the colder it gets. And I hope both sides brought some jackets. Godspeed, this is their chance to take this series and turn it back around. If Cloud9 finds victory here, they'll close it out with a clean sweep and knock them down to the lower bracket. Maybe that's the strat. Maybe that's what Godspeed's going for, but we know these teams are all fighting at a high caliber.
Oh, already expending that flicker is Restart. Best player in a little bit of trouble. Shiro coming up from the side, has the alpha charge. Tempest of Blades is out, trying to put the damage out. Shiro finding that space between him and Best player, who narrowly was able almost to find a kill. Luckily, no team took a death just yet, but we were already talking about those early rotations coming from the side of Godspeed. Joybaj takes a bit of damage from Basic, who is not worried for his lane just yet.
Yeah, not worried at all. Now, we mentioned Cloud9's composition. It's a little different than what we've seen in game number 1 and game number 2. This time around, they have a very early game priority, right? They're going to focus on trying to get these aggressive kills. We got to see him play a little bit more passive in game number 1 and 2. Maybe Godspeed, this is what they're looking for, to be able to change up their strategy and find an advantage.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't even realize it's Nats on the Cho here, so it's not going to be Cold World, but I think Nats is going to be just as lethal on that Cho. You can see here right now 3 members of Godspeed trying to chase down Cold World, but I mean, we talked about it. Gatakacha is so tanky, so resilient in a lot of these fights. Joybaj putting the damage on the Mark Cutie. Is it going to be enough? Divine looking for an angle here. Shiro here, while Best player perched up, looking for an angle to come in. Shiro finds the first turtle. So good start for the side of Godspeed. No deaths just yet, and finding themselves an objective.
Yeah, able to find something to work in their favor, and that's what we've been looking for. Hopefully they can keep that momentum in their favor. Best player, he didn't even go in for that objective. He did have his Tempest of Blades as well.
Yeah, I feel like he's trying to, with them not taking this first turtle, he's trying to punish Godspeed by going in. He's already taken 3 minions from Godspeed in his jungle right now. Do have the Avatar of the Guardian used by Cold World defensively to get himself out of that fight. Now it's Godspeed looking for the invade onto that. Basic's gonna back up all the way to his tier 2 tower as Cold World coming in, trying to put the pressure on. They're not gonna be able to get this tower just yet. Ooh, Nats goes in, finds the way of the dragon. A big pop-up by them. Joybaj finds a kill onto Mark Cutie. It is chaos in the jungle right now. Tempest of Blades is out. Best player with a hair of health, able to find an escape with that Tempest of Blades.
Beautiful start for Godspeed. Even though they don't have the dive-oriented composition, their team shines when it comes to team fights, as you see them all grouping together, and they're doing just that, outscaling and outbeating Cloud9 when it comes to the 5v5 engagements. As we are seeing some of the items on the board, both teams trying to get to these core items ahead of the others. It's only a 1 kill difference though, but a turtle onto the side of Godspeed to kind of help them toward their core items. So far though, I feel like Godspeed's doing a really great job on putting on that early game pressure.
Oh, Mark Cutie able to squeeze his way through. Avatar of the Guardian comes out and Mark Cutie goes down. That was an IMU Avatar of the Guardian. Now the rest of Cloud9 looking to make them punished. Basic finds a kill with that crossbow of Tang, and down goes Cold World. 1-3 in favor of Godspeed, who have found new life in this game 3. Nats comes in looking for the way of the dragon. The team is powerless to help. Tempest of Blades is out. Best player finds the kill onto Shiro. Then another onto Joybaj. Divine looking to try to get an escape here. Is not able to find his tower. That is a triple for Best player.
And that is something you can't pick up overnight. The synergy to be able to turn that back around from Cloud9, starting with the setup with the Way of the Dragon from Nats to go ahead and catch up on Cyree. And then best player rushing in with the Tempest of Blades to take him down. Not only able to take the turtle, but take 3 kills on top of that. Now taking advantage of the scoreboard, leading the way 5-3, and may be able to take a turret on top of that. You see in both tier 3s on the top side and the bot side, down to about 15% HP.
Yeah, it's just crazy how Nats is able to find the angle, get in, find the Way of the Dragon onto Shiro, shuts him down. Oh, Mark Cutie actually finds himself on the wrong end of an IMU Avatar the Guardian. Speaking of Shiro here, looking to create some distance here, putting the damage onto Nats there. Oh, best player perched up with that Finch pose, decides against going in.
I'm just looking at Joyboz's camera right now. Even though his team is slightly behind, that man has the biggest smile out of any player this NACT fall season. You can tell he's confident. You can tell he's having a blast.
Ooh, Shiro actually finds Nats. Are they going to be able to find the kill? He does. Tempest of Blades is out, though. Shiro in trouble here, connecting his swords. Best player finds another kill on his belt. 4-0 right now.
Highest kills in the game, possibly more in climbing. Godspeed need to be careful. They're not too far behind in kills, though. 5-6 so far.
Ooh, we have a gig engagement here. Restart finds a kill on to Mark Cutie. They really are able to punish Mark Cutie right now. Crossbow Tang, Basic finds a kill on to Joybaji. He's able to find these crossbow of Tangs very early and find kills, especially for a hero like Wanwan, who takes some time, takes some items to actually come online.
Yeah, and, you know, that's definitely going to kind of foreshadow what we'll be expecting toward that mid to late game if he's already able to find those weakness points this early on within that 17-minute mark. But right now, able to take another turtle under their belt, 2 turtles to 1 up against Godspeed, working in Cloud9's favor, and now on the board, leading by 4,000 kills. Hawk's Claws, Berserker's Fury, picked up by best player for some sustainability, for some crit damage as well. Looking on the other side, though, when it comes to the ADCs, 4,000 gold for Restart, for Cyree, which is the Valentina in the gold lane, 3,800 gold, which is very short compared to Basic at the 5,800.
Ooh, and we're already at the point where Godspeed is just replying to the pushing potential coming out from Cloud9. Another Way of the Dragon lashes on, finds a kill onto Divine. Cyree looking for an escape. Look at the dive coming from best player. Avatar the Guardian comes in as well. Basic finds a kill onto 2 members. That is 4 down for the side of Godspeed. It's just Shiro alone against 4 members of Cloud9, and they make easy pickings of him.
Easy pickings, clean up on aisle 9. Cloud9 able to find 4 members of Godspeed. Now should be able to take the tier 2 in the mid lane as well. They already took the tier 2 on the top side. We just gotta kind of put some highlight on the best player right now, right? On this Ling. He's been very effective. It's been a while since we've seen a Ling kind of get a lot of kills, especially in the early game. We're only 8 minutes in, and he's officially put up that bridge to be able to make that advantage.
Yeah, and I want to say it's due in part to the setting that's coming out from Nats and Cold World. You have Nats comes in, finds a Way of the Dragon. Cold World immediately tunes up the band for that Avatar the Guardian. Meanwhile, you have the Tempest of Blades from best player. It's like they're living in the same house or something and know each other's moves and how they're supposed to be synergizing with this. It is unmistakable for some of these engagements. They're making the most use of this Cho to isolate that one member. There goes Nats, another Avatar the Guardian. You see, Avatar the Guardian comes out. Are we going to have a Tempest of Blades coming in here as well? They don't even need it, as Basic's going to be able to clean up the job. Godspeed running for the hills. Are going to be able to make it to their tower. In comes Joybosh with a wild charge. They turn it around, looking to put the damage on. Mark Cutie still finds a kill. Best player finds one. Tempest of Blades is out, makes short work of Restart, and that is a complete team wipe for Godspeed, and quite possibly the final push.
Oh yeah, that's for sure game. I mean, Shiro, he's back and now he has to clear out these minions. He may actually be able to do it, but he has to clear them down.
Oh, they're going to go ahead and CC him down. He does have the crown to be able to negate some of that damage, but he goes down very quickly. Top high ground is down. Now you can see best player trying to put some damage onto that bottom one. Does not have the minion strength to do it. And Godspeed have a momentary reprieve.
Yeah, they're able to kind of push them back for who knows how long, though, because Cloud9 is in a very good stance to be able to get another early finish. We got to see them have an 11-minute finish for game number 1, but it looks like they're trying to beat that record.
Ooh, we do have tempo coming out. It still finds the kill onto Restart in front of 2 of their members. Syri next on the chopping block. He has the taste for blood. Run for the hills. Godspeed back up into their tower, their last high ground tower as well. Minions forcing their way in. As you can see, the flank coming from Cloud9. Divine in trouble. Shiro using that alpha charge. Is it going to be enough?
No.
Basic finds a kill onto Shiro. This might be it. Divine gonna get that healing from his first ability. Minions are now at the core. We do have the brilliance coming out, but it's not enough to save Restart from Nats. And ladies and gentlemen, a clean sweep for a dominant Cloud9.
Look at that, just in time for dinner. I think G the Ico just finished the steak for Cloud9. As you see a lot of high fives. Look at Basic waving their banner. A flawless series leading the way. The first series in the playoffs, a 3-0 sweep against Godspeed.
Yeah, and quite a dominant one. Even with, I want to say, Godspeed had such a great early game. All it took was them to just get synced up, Nats to go in, find the Way of the Dragon. Then you had Way of the Dragon, Avatar of the Guardian, and then Ling. Best player would come in with that Tempest of Blades and clean up shop. It was such a great combo for the side of C9.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody got MVP, it definitely had to be best player. Even when it was a 1v3 situation, he was able to get the pick off, able to go back to safety. But overall, the synergy from Cloud9 is definitely